cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. I'm your host, K Money, and in the building with me, my co-host, Freddie G / and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. And you can find us on Twitter at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. And if you're on YouTube, please don't forget to like and or subscribe. What's going on, fellas? Welcome to another True Tuesday. Today, man, I thought we discuss midlife crisis. You know, is there a reason for it, or is it actually a reality and it's something that we actually go through? You know, I myself, well, first off, an emotional crisis of identity and self-confidence that can occur in early middle age is the definition of midlife crisis. And I was going to say that, you know, I myself think that I possibly could have gone through it, and I wanted to talk about, you know, some of the stages that are part of midlife crisis, and some examples, you know, that, you know, we may have gone through and not even known that it was affiliated with a midlife crisis or having one. You know, I think I was saying earlier that I felt like I've gone through one. You know, about 2 or 3 years ago, I would have been 49. You know, I started getting all these tattoos, bro. Yeah. You know, and I just think that at that age, who does that?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if it. I don't regret doing it, and I don't know if maybe that this was something that I wanted to do at an early age and just chose to start doing it at 49. But majority of my tattoos came at 49, so I was thinking, damn, was that a form of me going through my midlife crisis? Right. You know, I really don't know. I'm just assuming that it did.
Let me tell you, that's not bad. Do you recall during COVID, on their 50th or 55th birthday, they finally had a threesome? That's a midlife crisis to me. It's a lady. Do y'all remember her?
No, I don't.
Okay.
What
Go on YouTube. It's the girl from Baby Boy, the big boy, the girl,
the lady.
Baby Boy mama.
Yeah.
Her. She's on YouTube, and to me, that's a midlife crisis. That's bad. You having a threesome at 50? It was I said 50? You do that at 15.
K Money, read that definition again.
All right. An emotional crisis of identity and self-confidence that can occur in early middle age.
An emotional crisis of identity and self-confidence. So
and they have self-confidence underlined.
So to me, that sounds like that's a person headed toward depression.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Now, I think that we associate midlife crisis as doing young things that young people would do.
Yeah, it'll make you feel younger.
Yeah,
I did.
But
that's not necessarily what that means.
Yeah, I think that's what we do, though. I think that we associate midlife crisis
with that
as doing stuff that young people will do, afraid of getting old.
Right.
And I use afraid loosely.
Right.
But based upon that definition, that sounds to me like somebody that's headed for depression. I'm sorry, K Money, could you read it one more time?
Yeah. An emotional crisis of identity and self-confidence that can occur in early middle age.
So, in addition to that, in regards to identity and confidence, I think that if you had an identity crisis when you're younger, you probably, if you don't get that corrected, it'll be there when you're older.
Yeah.
What about
And
this?
if you didn't have very much confidence when you were younger, there's a possibility that'll carry on as you get older.
Here's one that I think doesn't have anything to do with. Take this example. Say you have a middle-aged guy, 45, 50, right? And they work the whole entire time, but they maybe jump from job to job. So now they're 50, 51, 52. Yeah. 401k ain't where it need to be. Now it's harder and harder to get jobs. You've been employed all your life, but now you get to 52. I'm like, man, hold on. Man, I'm about to be 60 in 8 years. I ain't gonna be able to work in a little while.
Yeah.
So to me, it's not a depression. It's just like, man, I'm not where I'm at, where I need to be. Now your wheels are turning. You get what I'm saying? I think that's a part of a midlife crisis, when you just sit back and realize and look at your fruits of your labor and see where you are, and you might say, oh no, I hadn't done enough. What y'all think about that?
I would say yeah to that, but even with you feeling like that, I think that's more of a personal deal.
You said
at that point
that it's not depression, or you feel that it's not depression?
I think it's a reality check. I say more than depression, because you could say, damn man, I'm tripping, and you might just start to expedite things more, get an extra job,
you'd have
get
to
an
start
Uber,
doing
try
something.
to get but you're not depressed. It's just you just come to reality. Sometimes some people come to reality too late. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
And they're not depressed. They just like, damn man, let me go and do this now.
Well, I mean, if they feel that they're not where they're supposed to be at that age, that can make one depressed. You know what I'm saying?
Stressed out and everything.
So let me give you 6 stages of denial. Or better yet, K-Money, you give 6 stages.
Well, no, I was gonna say you had touched on something earlier, and I was gonna list 5 stages of midlife crisis.
Okay.
And denial just happens to be one of them. And that kind of goes into that example that you were using, Comedian 96. If you feel that if at 52 or
whatever, 53, 54,
around that age,
whatever,
you're not where you should be.
Right.
That's kind of denial. Would you think?
I'm not gonna say it's denial.
You're
I say it's
maintaining.
reality. You can come to reality. I wouldn't say. I would look at I ain't gonna say laziness, because like I said, that person was working. Maybe that person was working all the way through his whole life. But was going from job to job or something like that, and just not consistent. They was consistently working, but not consistently in a career. Get what I'm saying?
So
and then when they get to a certain level and realize, man, my 401k need to be. Although I've been working all my life, I haven't saved up enough to maybe retire. You get what I'm saying? So that sometimes you just come to a reality, but at a later stage in usually midlife crisis. Doesn't make you depressed.
Right. Let me ask you this then.
It's like a reality check.
Another stage is replay. Would you consider that replay?
I would say that, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Now, Freddie G, you touched on depression earlier, and that just happens to be another stage of one of the stages of midlife crisis. Mm-hmm. Anger, withdrawal, and acceptance. Mm-hmm. And earlier when I mentioned my example of what I thought I was going through a midlife crisis, I guess would fall up under replay and acceptance. I guess again, I did have the interpretation that it had you thinking and feeling that doing something that you would normally do at a younger age.
See, now, actually, like you had a good point, Comedian 96, with K-Money with the denial. But I think in regards to the denial, that's more so of denial of getting old. Mm-hmm. Denial getting old, right? Mm-hmm. Now the replay will probably be acting out your glory days. Man, I used to be able to knock out 3 chicks in one day. Now I can't knock out 3 minutes. So. 'Cause, 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 I think as just period, the midlife crisis may be a little different from women than it is for men.
Yeah.
I think that in regards to midlife crisis, I think that we're more apt to try to do things to bring us back to our glory days versus actually not being able to accept the fact that you're getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
According to choosingtherapy.com, this is how men act in a midlife crisis. They're impulsive, and poor judgment are common behaviors in men during midlife crisis. As they desperately try to correct their problems, they explore a number of negative copy skills. They could begin drinking alcohol, using drugs, spending money, gambling, and booking expensive trips without consulting their loved ones. I mean, shit. I just feel like that's somebody just trying to turn up. I don't see a problem with that.
But booking trips without their loved
I think
ones
part of
knowing.
it have to be outside of, if they're not known for that,
Right.
and that's personality,
Yeah.
and they're not known for that, then I can see how that'll.
And I'm assuming that they're married because it said consult your loved ones. Because if I'm single, then again, I don't really see anything wrong with any of these things listed. But based on what you just said, Freddie G, if it's something that's out of their norm, then yeah, that would be suspect in my opinion. Were you about to say something, Comedian 96?
No, I would just I didn't have anything to say. You kind of covered it, so
That was how men act. I'm looking to see if they how women act during their midlife crisis.
I think when it comes to them in midlife crisis, most of theirs would be symptoms, of midlife crisis, because they'll get, like you say earlier, depressed. You got some people have behavior changes, do stuff out of the norm. Mood swings. Women
Yeah.
have mood swings. So this is how you detect that in them. If they got these types of symptoms, this is how you find that in them, because it's so many different symptoms that are of midlife crisis.
Yeah, and a lot of women, and I'm not shooting any shots out here to any middle-aged women, but we all seem to pick up weight. So women tend to think that they're bigger than what they made it appear to be to the naked eye, and they feel that they're overweight.
Yeah.
And that may have something to do. I'm reading something now. Says midlife crisis in women is a moment of time in their life when they feel that they are no longer beautiful, confident or productive. So I guess they feeling like they're useless, no value anymore, and that, I'm sure that has a lot to do with your support system and who you have in your life.
Right.
It's totally different from a man's though, and I think you touched on what you were saying. I agree with what you were saying also, Slash, in regards to the emotional aspect of it.
See, now I would associate that when it comes to women, and if there are any women out there, please feel free to drop a comment. But I would associate menopause
Yeah.
I agree.
along the line because now they're knowing that I can't have any children anymore. And
that's a good point.
now when it comes to some of the emotions or whatever the case may be, some of that stuff, man, you can find some of that stuff with young women, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I think menopause play a big part in that.
well, your emotions are fragile during menopause. So I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand. And some women, they can actually experience menopause a lot earlier than the normal age that one would think a female is going through. But that is a sign of midlife crisis. I'm looking at on same reference or resource, choosingtherapy.com, says that is a sign of midlife crisis in women. and can range from changes in body image or sexual satisfaction, often due to such factors as perimenopause and menopause, to emotional struggles surrounding career issues and dissatisfaction. So, I mean, we all handle it differently. And
I'm sorry.
well, go ahead.
I just visualized gray hairs on people's pubic. you see that? Yeah, I'm getting old.
Man,
Gotta shut it down.
the 50s is the new 40s, bro. That's how I feel, mentally
I
anyway.
thought 50s new 30s. That's what I thought it was.
Nah, it better not be.
You and I.
And, at 50, you think it is the new 30, new 40? Go try to go down there, run down the street
That's
as
what
fast
you will
as you
be.
can.
Yeah.
Your body will let you know.
Let you know.
Uh-uh.
Nope. That's 40 years ago, sir. You can't do
But
that.
you know, back in the day, fellas, when you see an old gentleman with a Corvette, they would stereotypically say, he's having a midlife crisis just because he's driving a vet.
Right.
Why is that? The need for speed at 50.
age.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back then, those 50-year-olds didn't look like we look.
Nah.
No.
I can see myself driving a
They
vet.
looked older.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
look. Yeah, because 50 means you can get a whooping type uncles or
I think
dads.
I think that the stress was different.
Back then.
Oh yeah,
back
you
then.
know
I
what?
think the level of stress was
Stress
different.
much higher.
That's a valuable point. Very valuable point.
Making their ass look old. Stressed out the white man.
Yeah, lie.
I work all week, man, and y'all giving me $150.
A month.
I'm looking here to say a resolution to a midlife crisis. I didn't know you had one. I just thought in time, it should be over with. But it says generally ends when you feel more comfortable with yourself and begin to accept, perhaps even welcome, what life has in store. Hey, what do you guys think the most common age is for one having a midlife crisis?
I would say 40.
How about you, Slash?
40's a little early. I'll say 47, something like that, 48ish.
You know what? I agree with Slash. I say 47, 48ish.
So you guys feel like that's as early as you can have it?
So when you say, are you speaking of
I want a range.
or is it just men versus women?
You know
or,
what?
or is
I think it varies through everybody. I don't think it's a certain age.
So I think the age will be different from men than it is for women.
women, right?
I do agree. It doesn't specify the difference, but it just has a range, and that's what I wanted to find out.
Okay,
so you
so
guys feel 48.
40.
is the earliest
I
you
say
can
40
have
to 45.
it, and 48
I
too.
said 45 to
48.
50. 45 to 50.
45 to 50, 48.
I say 45 to 50.
Okay, it actually says 45 to 64.
Oh,
So we still in that window, but I'm also at that point, man, to where like I said, it feels like you're no longer dealing with it, if you deal with it at all.
Yeah.
By not being bothered by the small shit.
Yes,
Basically not stressing, and not having to worry about shit that you can't control.
You can't.
That's where that stress comes in. The white folks back in the day, well, not just white, but I can imagine, our ancestors, the type of stress that they dealt with back then. But again, black don't crack, and we look, totally different than at 50. You know what I'm saying?
And back then, yeah.
So again, I think finance again. So you just hit something and it made me click on. So say you're 60 and you're about to retire at 65, but you got 12 more years on your house payment, right? You got 12 more years on the house payment, but you only got 5 more years of work. But 7 years, dang, I ain't gonna be bringing in enough income to pay this note. And if I am with my retirement, I'm gonna be barely pushing it. That it's not. It has nothing to do with. I don't think depression. Like I said, that's another form of reality. It's like a reality check. The reality kicks you in the face. It's just like bam, here it is. This is happening.
Yeah.
You need to adjust.
Right.
And you know it's coming. So scarcity, maybe you're scared. Not scarcity.
Fear.
Fear or
Fear of what? Failing?
fear of the unknown, not knowing, okay, am I going to be able to afford, once I stop working and retire, will my income be able to cover my expenses?
I mean, shit, we deal
get
with
what I'm
the
saying?
fear of the unknown every day. That's just not budgeting.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think, you go from a check, and you ain't gonna get the whole portion of your retirement. It's not gonna match your check.
Okay,
you know what I'm
I got
saying?
what you're saying.
So
My
now
bad.
it's being cut down. Now you got to readjust, and you're like, okay, can I make it for the rest of my life on now what I'm earning? And now I'm dependent on only the government or wherever I'm getting my retirement from, instead of I got a check, I got multiple forms of income.
Yeah.
Now you just got the one.
I hear what you're saying. Here go 6 ways you can cope with midlife crisis. Embrace your creative side. Get creative to help spur some inspiration. So I feel like, this podcast, is us embracing our creative side, so that should help us out. Mm-hmm. Another one is mindful meditation. This is a great way to reconnect with your inner self and create new insights. And I do believe in meditation, man. I just never have tried it myself, but I do believe in that, and think it is beneficial. Make some changes, and I just guess that means overall do something different. Don't do the same routine daily
all the time.
Yeah,
right.
that can get old. Practice gratitude. And then there's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
Make somebody smile just by being generous.
Yeah.
Steer clear of social media, Comedian 96.
I mean, I only do business only on I don't even do my personal pictures on there.
Your personal pictures?
Unless when we do our photo shoots. That's the only ones I post. Other than that, I don't post nothing on there.
Okay, I could have sworn you showed me something clapping that didn't have shit to do with business, but all right. The last one, man, hang out with like-minded people.
Yeah.
Very
important.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Positive.
I
people.
truly believe in that.
Hang out with positive folks.
And that's thinking positive, because that negativity is just it's like a depressant, it just pulls you down, and that's what you don't need. Man, I just want to thank y'all for joining us. Hopefully somebody got some valuable information out of us speaking on midlife crisis, and if you feel like you having one, I hope you paid attention to the 6 ways that we listed or stated that you're able to cope with it. It's not a bad thing, but it's a real thing. This concludes another True Tuesday episode, and be sure you tune in tomorrow for Women Wednesday with Freddie G. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at 52 Sky Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Sky Podcast. And for all you YouTubers, don't forget to like and subscribe. And to all my 52 Sky faithfuls, it may be new to you, but if you heard it here, then you know it's true.